Hello. While we are suffering under the coronavirus, these days, these 2 weeks at least, we are going to need to do some activities at home. In that sense, and taking for granted that you are using a computer in order to see this video, it would be so nice to use that same computer you are using right now for the activities that I planned for you these days. We're going to do a couple of exercises of graphic design, we are going to do photo edition, and of course we are going to animate. In order to do so, we are going to use three tools, three important programs. Each and every one of those are absolutely free, and I'm going to teach you today to download those programs, to install those programs, and at the same time we are going to have a very quick look at the more important characteristics, components and resources for those three programs that we are going to use from now on. Well, the first thing to do is, of course, I'm going to open my web browser. In this case I am using Firefox. As you are probably already noticed, I'm going to install these programs into a Windows 10, a customized Windows 10 operating system. Very probably it's a very similar operating system as the one you have. In case you have something different, somehow maybe you have some Linux system or maybe some Apple operative system, you probably want to follow the instructions of your operative system in order to download and install programs. But anyways, most of the things we are going to do are common to all these systems. So once we are in Google, the first thing to do, the first program that we are going to install is Gimp. Gimp is a photo editor program that is going to allow us to edit what is called bitmaps. So as you can see, the first result we have here, this is the one we are going to click in. Immediately after, we are going to search for the word descargas, downloads. Better even this one, descargar Gimp directly, and we are going to download, as you can see, the latest of all, which is the version 2.10.12. so we are going to download it. It's going to take a couple of minutes depending on the speed of your connection. This is going to last a couple of minutes or maybe just a couple of seconds, as in my particular case. Now, nice. We are going to show all the downloads, mostrar todas las descargas, and we are going to double click on it directly. As you can see here, it's going to ask me if I want to execute it, which of course I want. Do I want to install it in all the users or only for me? I'm going to install it for all the possible users. Now, of course, we will have to select the language. This is up to you. It's a free country. You can choose the one that suits you more. But of course, I'm going to, in this particular case, I'm going to select English, which is immediately above Spanish. So nice. I'm going to say to install, and this is of course going to take a couple of minutes depending on the speed of your computer, of your processor. Anyways, even if your computer is old enough, I mean old enough, it can be 5 to 10 years old, even in those particular cases, this program is not extremely demanding. So I assume even though if your computer is slow enough, it's going to work out enough. And anyways, the activities that we are going through during these days, they are going to be, how would I say, they are not going to be heavy, they're going to be light enough. That's nice. So it finished already installing, and we are going to have a quick look at this program for the first time. In order to do so, I go into the Start, and I'm going to open for the first time my program. Here it is, Gimp. I open it. The first time it starts, it's going to open a little bit slower than it's going to do in the aftermath of the installation. What do I mean with it? The first time it opens, it's going to, as you have probably already noticed, it installed a couple of plugins and so on. While the second time we open it, so I close it in order to make you clear that it's not going to last forever every time we open it. As you can see, it opens so much quicker up from the second time. So as you can see, we have these two panels, lateral panels, in which we'll be able to find all the tools. Here we are going to see the layers. Where are the layers? Here we have the layers here, and we are going to be able to open here any kind of image that we have in our system. So a more thorough and deep comment of the program is going to be taken into another video tutorial. In this one, we are going to continue on installing the rest of the tools that we need. After we installed successfully Gimp, we are going to install the next one, which is Inkscape. As you can see, this is the way it is written. We search directly into it in the web browser. We do click in the first result, and as we did before, we get into descargas, current version, la versión más actual, which is of course this one. I'm going to select the proper operative system. In this case it is Windows. Here it is up to the architecture of your computer. If your computer is really old, it is possible that you still are running a 32-bit architecture. If your computer is not extremely old, I mean less than 8 years for instance, it is most probable a 64-bit architecture. So this is the one that we are going to click on. So we can use any of those three options that they are offering us, but we are going to click into the installer.exe, which is going to be the fastest option of the three ones. Of course, as we did before, we're going to save that one. Here on the upper right part of your web browser, you usually are going to find all those downloads available. We are going to click, as you can see here, on the file, which is going to take us directly into the file that the file is downloaded, in this case downloads, descargas. So we are going to, in this case, do double click on it, and as we did before with Gimp, we are going to execute it. We are going to select the proper language. In this case I'm going to select English, and that's going to be the moment I found it. OK, and next, and again, and here we are going to leave it as it is by default. We are not going to change a bit. We are going to have a look at the destination folder just in case, but everything seems to be perfectly well. So as you can see, it is extracting again. This depends on the speed of your computer. Inkscape is what it's called a vector graphics illustration program, and it's going to, it's going to be good for designing very clean, very professional graphics like logo types and illustrations. It is not the best option possible for editing photos or images that are based on bitmaps. It's going to allow us, in fact, to do some other kind of pictures that are more related to the graphic design, in the sense that you are going to simulate the way you have a desk and a paper and some other kind of tools that are going to allow you to do so many different things in a very quick way. So now we're going to directly dive into the third program, which is possibly the most complex and the most difficult to manage, which is a 3D modeling and animation program, which is called Blender. We are going to get into it once I've written it into the search gap here of the web browser, and of course, as we usually do, we are going to dive directly into the download section. We're going to make sure that we are going to download the last and the most updated version, which is the 1.2.82, the moment we are recording this. And we make sure we are going to install the Windows option, which is right now. So we're going to save it. It is probably the biggest of the three, but anyways, not as big as other professional tools, which are so expensive in comparison with Blender, which is unbeatable. It is free. So we're going to accept again. We want to execute it, and we're going to install it as quick as the program allows us. Next, and install. And we are hoping that the program is going to run flawless in your computer. Here we go. Finish. We're going to close the web browser. We don't need this anymore. Here you can see the three programs that we have been downloading and installing, and I already have here the icon, the shortcut into Blender, which is of course not working in this virtual machine. So I really hope this video tutorial has been useful for you in order to download and install the three programs, these three software applications that we are going to use in the next 2 weeks. As usual, in these strange days we are living, stay safe and stay well. Thank you so much. See you.